Well, hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to the RFL Season 1 opener. Race 1 officially starting for the RFL League, and we're kicking it off here in Bahrain. So it is one of the new season openers currently, with Australia keep moving around in real life. So the RFL League. It's a different kind of league to a lot of the ones out there at the moment. The RFL League runs realistic performance on its cars. All teams have a number 1 and a number 2 driver, as well as some reserve drivers, and then a couple of teams have third reserves or junior drivers as well. So we've got 17 cars here today joining us, and we'll run through the list very shortly. Just pop a few things up on here. So we're running a full quali here today, so an 18-minute first quali, a 15-minute second Q2, and then Q3 for 12 minutes. So looking at Q1, we're currently just about 5 minutes in at the moment, and we've had 7 drivers set lap times. So Perfect Pond currently in the Red Bull, leading the timings with a 1:26.147. Satumiki in the Aston Martin with a 1:26.394. WLK Agelos in a 1:27.043. In the Alpine, Small Heroes set a 1:27.651 in the Haas. Steins up in the Alfa Romeo has set a 1:28.070. Gabriel, just coming into the pits, has set a 1:28.048, and Saduki, well, I'll just call him Saduko, Saduk, 1:28.262 in the other Haas. So only 7 drivers at the moment to set a time, and the only other person out on lap currently is Katsu in his beautifully scarlet red Ferrari. So I'd imagine with the Q1 being in realistic performance, we'll see a lot of the top runners in the Mercedes, the Red Bulls, your McLarens potentially, possibly even your Alpines and your Astons only go out for one run. Now, although the cars are realistic performance, that doesn't necessarily account for the driver behind the wheel. We've run a few pre-season testing races which have been interesting to watch. If you haven't seen them, jump on the CCR network on YouTube and have a little watch of those. But what we have seen is a few of the drivers in what would be classed as a midfield team, or even the back-end teams, have set some really decent times on the track. You know, we have to take into account that damage is there as well. People spinning a lot, so we are in F1 2021, and it is renowned for difficulty in the traction zones. So it could be interesting to watch. So as I said, you know, those top runners in the Mercedes, the Red Bulls, etc., might only put one lap in, but if they're out there spinning, or you know, they're having a difficult time putting a lap together, they could find themselves in a bit of trouble. So we're on board with Katsu at the moment, who set a 1:26.831, which is currently good enough P3. Rugby Danny in his Red Bull is currently out on track at the moment. And it looks like Forza UV is out on track in the Alpha Tauri as well, along with Nicholas Latifi in the Latifi in the other Mercedes. Can he put a decent time together to be right up there? Also got some other recognisable names. So we've got Cool Guy, who's in the other Mercedes, and Exotic in the McLaren, who races in a number of other leagues as well, along with Rugby Daney. Now RAC Bob, can he make it around without breaking down? RAC, is that a jinx name? Will it help him out? Who knows? He's currently on his outlap as we speak. Don't know if we've got anyone else. Nicholas Latifi is on his hot lap at the moment. Just set a 28.074 in sector 2 as he flies down the back straight. Coming up to turn 11, keeps it nice and tidy through there. Avoid the curb on the outside around 12, and then 13. Try not to touch the curb or you'll be spinning around. So he comes through 13. Avoids the curbs a lot there. I think you can take quite a bit more inside there to help you carry some speed around the exit. And he runs up to the final corner. He bounces slightly off the curb on the right hand side there, powering down as he opens up the DRS nice and wide, and he crosses the line with a 127.106. Interesting in the Mercedes, very interesting. Forza UV's just started his lap there. As Maxi's going to cross the line with a 127.985 in the AlphaTauri. I missed who jumped up there as well. We've got Just Jose set a beautiful time there. 126.212 in the McLaren. Looks like we've got a few drivers backing off now. Exotics on his out lap. Looks like Rugby Daney's setting another lap as well. Perfect Pond's just about to start a second lap, but he's abandoning straight into the pits, just possibly out there doing a little test run as Bracken's Brook Actions. That's just a bunch of letters put together. Apologies, I'm butchering your names. BR Caxon, we'll call you that. Set 126.773 in his Ferrari. What else we've got out on the track at the moment? Lofi's just started. Oh no, he's just set a 128.084. And it looks like Nicholas Latifi's going to be crossing the line again and goes quickest with a 126.130. So possibly, like in real life, those Mercedes tyres take a little bit of time to warm up. That's definitely a good time. Only what, 100th, nearly just under 200ths quicker than the Red Bull. As RAC Bob invalidated his lap there. And it looks like we're coming to the point in the lap. Sounds like I'm having a stroke. Steinzap's just about to start his fly, so we'll ride on board with him for a moment, as it seems like a lot of others are currently sitting in the pits. We've got a few cars out on track. We'll see where they pick up. DRS wide open, coming down to turn 1. Braking nice and early. Possibly looks like it was too early, but I think that's just the camera angle. Flying through 2 and 3. DRS back open for the short straights up to turn 4. And it's quite possibly looks like he might have abandoned his lap. No DRS open there as he comes around turn 4. Who else have we got on track? The Ferrari of BR Caxon coming in the pits. It looks like Small Hero had invalidated his lap. And Luffy's coming into the pits after setting his, and both Mercedes, cool guys out on lap, just coming up to the final corner. His teammate looked like he was running very late on the brakes there, coming behind him as he's going to dive in the pits. So cool guy about to set his first lap of this Q1 session with just under 6 minutes remaining. So cool guy, RSC Bob still to set a time, Elder Royale still to set a time as well. So the bottom 4 drivers in this bottom 3 drivers in this session will drop out, and we'll only go through with 15 drivers into Q2. As cool guy sets a 27.626 for sector 1. Vel nearly loses it coming out of turn 10, that very tight left-hander, downhill hairpin, but he just keeps it DRS open. He'll still he would still set this time, I reckon, even if it's not the greatest. I'd still expect him to be right up there, top 5, top 6 potentially. 104.161 for his second sector time. Comes down to the last corner. Gets really wide onto that curb to get the best possible angle, and he's going to stick with the lap time, and he's going to set And there was me saying top 6. Smashes out 1:26.059, so just under a tenth quicker than anybody else. We wouldn't expect much less. I think there was a slight problem with my mic there. Let's just double check. We have checked the settings and it does appear to be working. But we're back up and running now. So, where are we at? 2 minutes 45 left to go. Adel Royale still set a lap time, and RSC Bob's decided he's had enough of this session after doing 3 laps and retired. Out on track at the moment we've got Satomiki, Rugby Daney, Forza Juve, Maxi and Soduk. Soduk in the Haas currently sitting down in P17. Can he improve with this lap time? Not quite. Rather slow lap time there. I mean, he is in the Haas. It's not renowned for being the fastest car. Let's be honest. So, for the fight for the last couple of places, only cars currently out on track. Forza Juve. Stein's just starting his outlap. Small Hero is also on an outlap. Maxi running very wide there through turn 2, but it still says valid, which is impressive. Gabriel also on his outlap. Saduki on his hot lap. He's currently 400ths down on his time. El Royale just coming round with a very slow time. I'm guessing there might be either a timing problem or he's run out of fuel there. Not the greatest. Don't know if he's having some technical difficulties himself, but he's pulling right off the track to let others past. So that could be a sign he's not having the best time. Possibly he'll make it around for another lap if he can make it, if his tyres are still in life. We shall see. So, Small Hero just starting his next flyer, currently sitting P14, very low in the drop zone. And Small Hero has invalidated his time there, unfortunately, so he's not going to get another run at this. Max is currently out there. Eldorado just managed to make it across the line to start a lap. So Duke's all the way around there. Gabriel's going to be the first one to cross the line now. Can he improve on his 1:28.084? He does improve slightly to put him into P15, which is just on the drop zone. Small Hero will be the next one to cross the line, but he's invalidated his lap, unfortunately. So Stein's going to be the next driver to cross. Sitting in P13. So I think Steins could be safe It would take a lot to push him down now. You know, Maxi, Saduk, and El Doral, who's yet to set a lap, have all got to set a time. So Small Hero is retired, and Steins doesn't improve. Saduk doesn't improve either, and then Maxi's going to be the next one to try and cross the line. He's got 1:27.985, so he's only got to find a tenth and a half to be safe in this session. And then close on his heels, Eldorell's not far behind him. Let's see what he can do, and it's going to be a very slow lap, so he drops him out of the run-in. And what can Eldorell produce on his one flying lap? And it cuts out very quickly there. Let's see where he landed on the bottom list. So he set at 1:28.984, so 2.9 seconds off the lead. So from Q1 we lose Saduk, Maxi and Elder Royale. 2.9 seconds, 1.9 and 1.8, so it's good 2 seconds between 2 tenths between P15 and P16. So one Haas, one Alpha and one Williams out of the running, but we have got another Williams, Haas and Alpha Tauri into the Q2. So we'd expect the times to improve now going into Q2 as the track starts to embed in, and the cars just generally get faster with the amount of rubber on the track, people's fresh tyres now. So we'll see if anyone can beat Cool Guys 1:26.059 from Q1. So here we go, 15 minutes counting, and then we will lose another 5 drivers, and the top 10 will advance into Q3. And I'm just going to mute everyone there. So, no one out on track just yet. We've got an interesting tyre choice here. It's most likely a 2-stopper. Depends what you start on. The hard tyres, they're not the greatest. So you're looking at a soft, medium, medium ideally. So the top 10 drivers probably going to go out on a set of mediums first. We'll see. But then those in the drop zone will probably opt to run the soft tyres later on in the race. As we pop all of our data back up there. So currently with medium tyres fitted, it's sitting in the pits Cool Guy, Rugby Danny, Angelos, Russi, Bob and Katsu. So Perfect Pond's gone out on track on a set of soft tyres. He's taken the gamble on the soft tyres, and Satumiki as well on the soft tyres. So we'll see what they can do. I'd imagine the Red Bull being quite quick in itself, especially around Bahrain. I'm quite intrigued as to whether this is just a reconnaissance mission, you know, get a feel for the track again, and then will he just pit again for a set of mediums? We'll see. Everyone else still sitting in the pits. So we've got Forza Juve is going to come out of the pits on a set of medium tyres in his Alpha Tauri. So the first one to start a flying lap will be Satumiki, as it looks like the Alpine is just coming out of the pits as well. So let's ride on board with Satumiki in that glorious green Aston Martin as he sets the first lap time. That's right, Pekka. Unfortunately, no Haas drivers have made it through. Yes, they have. Small Heroes here. Small heroes here. You confused me there, Perka. We're missing you this evening. I was expecting big things from you now that you've got all of your spinning out of the way in the practice sessions. So yeah, we hope you can join us again soon out here in your Haas. And give us a good show. See what you can do in that car for real, in a real race situation. So we've got a few more cars out on track now. So Jelos, Gabriel's also out on track. Perfect Pond's on his hot lap. Forza Juve was just coming around there, and Forza Juve, as I said, is just coming down the second, or first/second DRS straight as Satomiki comes across the last corner at turn 14, and DRS wide open and sets the foundation time 1:26.130. So it's just under a tenth quicker than the Q1 P1 time. I believe Perfect Pond in his Red Bull is going to be the second person to cross the line. And can he top that time? I believe he will. Doesn't. 1:26.671. Small Hero is just on his outlap at the moment. Just Jose is on an outlap on the soft tyres. Currently, the only drivers that have set times are on the softs. Cool Guy's still sitting in the pits. He's just going to chill out there for a bit. Before he has to jump out. Exotic's just coming out as well on a set of soft tyres. Rugby Danny is waiting in the pits on a medium. Small Hero has just started his time in that Haas. Kind of hoping that, you know, the Haas team, Gene Haas, will put a bit more investment into developing the car going forwards. Obviously we'll see a lot of changes going forward into 2022. But for the last couple of years, the cars just seems to be going backwards, unfortunately. But we want them up there. You know, a couple of years ago, Williams were down the bottom, and now they're starting to make headway, getting back up into, you know, qualifying in Q2. Obviously, last weekend in Hungary, Latifi was running very high up. Stayed there for quite a while until the pit stop phase, but then being a Williams, he was basically just holding everyone up in a long queue, and yeah, that's what kept him up there for all that time, because Hungary is a very difficult track to overtake. Let's ride on board with him. He's going to come across the line in the house, and what can he give us? A very nice 1:27.820. So while we were waffling on there, Gabriel set a 1:28.2. Jelos set a 1:28.2 as well. Forza UV still to set a time, a very slow 1:44.211. I'm assuming that wasn't a flat out lap. If it was, he must be running a lot of downforce. Who else have we got currently sitting on laps? Just Jose is just about to finish his lap in the papaya machine. He'll cross the line with a 1:26.849. RAC Bob and his teammate Forza is going to cross the line with a 1:29.6. RAC Bob jumps up there with a 1:27.807. As Birakahan's just coming around the back of the track. Rugby Danny is just on his first flying lap on those medium tyres. Exotic as well. 1:06.767 for Sector 2. Let's see what he can give us for the last few corners. Comes around the last corner hitting a 1:23, so he's got about 3 seconds. A very slow lap, but it looks like it's going to hit in the 1:29, so 1:29.2, yes. As no one is yet to top Satomiki's time. Looks like Stein's currently in the pits. Cool Guy's now on an outlap in the Mercedes. His teammates just coming out at the same time. So Rugby Danny It's going to be the next one, I believe, to cross the line. I think Just Jose is going to be on an in-lap. That's right, yeah. So let's jump on board with Remy Denny as it comes around the last corner. So on the medium tyre, let's see if he can jump up there, beat a 126.1 on the soft. He can't. It's only good enough for P8 for a 127.8. And Kaitsu's diving into the pits. And here we go, fastest lap in Q1, currently running medium tyres here in Q2, going for a longer stint on that first sector. Cool Eye take us away, comes around turn 1, nice and tidy, avoid the outside curb, avoid going over the outside curb should I say, hits the second DRS zone up to turn 4, nice and early braking to get on the power, drift wide on the exit of 4, and then the S section here in Bahrain in the middle that's sloping and downhill, keeps it nice and tidy, nice and tidy on the brakes there, on the power very quickly, a little bit squirrely as he gets the traction down but still keeps it in a straight line as he comes up to the hairpin at 10, perfectly executed, and the DRS wide open as he comes towards turn 11, sweeping left, get as far over onto the curb as you can, and then the uphill sweep wide and then cut back in to get the switchback right hander for turn 13. Avoid the curb there as he keeps it nice and clean for 13. That's it, a bit of curb there on the exit, but still a valid lap as he flies down the second to last straight. Again, as far over on the curb as you can get, and then get it around turn 14 in a nice straight line, DRS wide open, and Cool Guy sets a 126.789. Nicely done, sir. So Perfect Pond's going to be the next person to set a lap time. So we've got just under 5 minutes to go. So those at the bottom of the table will currently be considering whether they need to change from the medium. So Rugby Daney, Agilos and Exotic currently sitting in P9, 11 and 12 respectively on the medium tyres. Potentially going to have to switch to the soft tyre strategy, which looks like a lot of people are going to be doing. Steins and Nicholas Latifi are yet to set a time. Nicholas Latifi is just coming around the last corner now, so we'll see if he can not only make it into the top 10 but beat his teammates, and he does. P7 for a 127.147. So currently Stein, so the only one in the drop zone currently on track is for the UV as we hit the 4 minute mark. So with a one lap time of about 126, you want to be leaving the pits with at least 2 minutes left to give yourself plenty of time. Some drivers just jumping out nice and early so that they've got time just in case they invalidate a lap or they get impeded. As Cool Guy just started a what looks like a third lap now on the medium tyres. He's looking like he's safe up there in P4 with a 126.789. So Gabriel's come out in the Williams on a set of soft tyres. Rugby Denny is currently out on an out lap as well on a pair of soft tyres, sitting in that final position to go through to Q3. And excuse me as I just open a can of Coke. Let's see who's going to be in the drop zone. Predictions, I would say that a 127.8 is very borderline for RAC Bob, so we'll see if he's going to come out as well. I think your cut-off time, we're going to look at a 127.5 at the lowest as well. So we've got P9, 10, 11, 12, 13 all out on track. Forza UV is the only one on a hot lap currently down at the bottom, as it looks like Cool Guy's still putting in lap times. He's invalidated that lap low. So can Forza Juve improve enough to make it through? Let's have a look at this second sector time. We're looking at about a minute 2 seconds, minute and 3 roughly, maybe slightly more. But I think a minute 2 would be a decent time if you can do it. 1 minute 2, 1 minute 3. Oh, and he's if he's not dead, I don't want to know why. Wow. Now he's struggling. He's got no front wing, tyres that are hotter than a supermodel, and he retired from the session. Bless him. Yeah, that was spinning around into the wall very quickly. So Exotic's going to start his flying lap in a second, and Small Hero's just on his out lap. So let's just ride on board, as Robbie Denny is currently on an invalidated lap. Gabriel's going to be the next one to cross the line. Can he improve? And he does. He jumps up to P8 with a 1:27.3, which pushes Rugby Daney down into the drop zone. He's just started a new lap though on a set of soft tyres. Who's going to be our next driver to cross the line? Perfect Pond setting a hot lap. Looks like Nicholas Latifi is on an out lap. RSC Bob on an out lap. So Exotic will be the next person to cross the line. So Nicholas Latifi will make it across the line potentially, but RAC Bob's going to not make it by the looks of it. And that's it. So we've hit 0:00 on the clock now. So RSC Bob's going to have to abandon his lap. So Exotic needs to improve. He needs to find a minimum of half a second on this lap. I think he's got it in him. Let's see what he can do. Get that McLaren back up there in a fighting position. Be the Lando of McLaren for us, Exotic, and he does. A 1:27.3, improves by about 8/10. So Small Hero is next across the line. Small Hero makes it into the top 10 and then gets knocked straight back out by the driver behind him. And Robbie Danny makes it as well with a 1:26.475. Gabriel's going to cross the line in the final position. He's abandoned as the other McLaren of Just Jose has crossed the line. And that's it. Nicholas Latifi is the final person on track who doesn't actually need to set a time, as Perfect Pond, I notice, sets a 1:26.016. And I'm not sure if Nicholas Latifi or Eustace is a cat, I believe it is, in the Discord. I think improved there. He did with a 1:26.094. So your top 10 and advancing through to Q3. Perfect Pond with a 1:26.016 in the Red Bull. Nicholas Latifi in the Mercedes, 800ths behind. Satomiki in the Aston Martin, a 10th off. BR Caxon in the Ferrari, 3/10 off. Rugby Danny in the Red Bull with a 1:26.476, half a second off. And one of only two drivers, Cool Guy in the Mercedes with a medium tyre, and Exotic, the only other medium driver, in P9. Katsu, Just Jose, P7, P8, and Gabriel rounds off our top 10. So it'll be interesting start for Exotic and Cool Guy starting on that medium tyre compared to everyone around us. So here we go. Q3, 12 minutes to get that perfect lap in and get that pole position. So we've got both Mercedes are through, both Red Bulls, both McLarens, both Ferraris, one Aston Martin, and one Alpine, I believe Gabriel is in. Let's just sort out our menu. In the Williams, I do correct myself. Gabriel made it through in the Williams, that's right. Just secured that final position. So here we go. First drivers out on the track. Satumiki, excuse me. Rugby Daney looks like he's going to be the next driver out on track, along with his teammate in front of him, Perfect Pond, who I don't know whether he intentionally went wide there or if that was a mistake. Could it be a tactic to get behind his teammate to get the slipstream? Exotic's also out there on the medium tack with that beautiful purple helmet. Look at it glow under the night lights here in Bahrain. Let's just take a check out BR Kraken's helmet. That green and black looks like something out of a superhero movie. Looks like he's the villain of some sort with that helmet on. So Satumiki will be our first driver to start a lap, with Katsu very who's the other Ferrari? Yep, Katsu very close behind him, backing off now to build a gap. So can Satumiki, who sat at the top of Q2 for all the way till the end pretty much, can he do big things with that Aston Martin? So all 10 drivers apart from Gabriel out, or 9 out of 10 drivers apart from Gabriel are out on track. Is he just saving those tyres? He knows he's in a Williams. He possibly knows that he won't be able to compete massively. But at the moment he's my George Russell in the Williams team. Made it into top 10 in the very first race of the season, which I'm very impressed by in a Williams. Looks like we've got Nicholas Latifi's just about to start a lap, and so is Jose. So Satumiki, as he comes round turn 12 up to the final 3 corners on the track, turn 13, nice and tidy. You've got to love the Aston Martin. Being British, that British racing green essentially is what it is on that car. Getting Aston back into the sports. I did love the car when it was pink, but... So, there's your benchmark time, a 1:25.842. And Kaitsu, 1:26.562. So, quite a bit slower in the Ferrari as well. Rugby Daney, 1:26.526. And then his teammate Perfect Pond's going to come across the line with a 1:25.899. Next one across the line, no, Exotic abandoned his lap there. Brakaxen, we'll call him Brakaxen. It's going to be the next one to set a time in the Ferrari. And can he beat his teammate for starters? And he does with a 1:26.424. So, cool guy, the first of the Mercedes to cross the line. Can he get quicker than a 1:25.8? My guess is going to be a 1:24.9. Wow, I was miles off. 1:25.576, so 3 tenths quicker, and his teammate just behind him on a 1:25.661. So the last one at the moment to cross the line will be just Jose in the Papaya machine, who sets a very, very impressive 1:25.592. Getting that Mercedes back up into a provisional P2. Wow, I wasn't expecting that, if I'm honest. Again, like I said earlier, car performance is just half of it. That driver performance makes up for a lot of what we're going to see here today. So as Gabriel comes out in typical Williams style to set his lap in the middle of our 12-minute qualifying session. Probably so that Williams get a bit of airtime rather than just sitting at the back of the track and the back of the grid. Get the sponsors' names out there a little bit. So we'll give him that airtime as well, and we'll have a little ride on board with him. So here we go. Starts his flying lap in his Williams with a soft tyre. Not the fastest car on the grid, but can he pull every ounce of energy out of it? So third gear, fourth gear coming up to the DRS straight, fifth gear, sixth gear, 160, 170 miles an hour. Full throttle on the brakes just after the 100 metre board. Very light tapped power down as we come through the downhill S section. Riding the curve on the left. Little tap of the curve on the left on the turn 6 as well, and 7. Nice and tidy on the brakes, down to second gear, short shifting up to third gear as he comes up to crest turn 9 and then the hairpin of turn 10. Very light on the brakes there. Coming down that back straight. I do like the colour scheme of the Williams this year. I think it's very nice compared to previous years where it was very bland. So he's keeping it nice and tidy through here. He's got a nice clear track. It looks like he's going to come up to a bit of traffic of the McLaren in front of him. He's potentially get a slight bit of slipstream coming down here. It's about 6 seconds off of him at the moment, so it's not going to have a massive effect. Here we go. He crosses the line with a 1:27.1. Good enough for P9 as Exotics just started his flying lap after he abandoned his first attempt. Now the good thing with Exotic and what we want to see him do is see how high up he can get, which will be beneficial for him starting on the medium tyres as well. Rugby Danny's just on his outlap and Cuts also on an outlap at the moment. So obviously Exotics currently sit in purple sectors, but they're just personal best sectors, as we know. So, what can Exotic give us? Good enough, P6 for 1:26.231. So Rugby Danny's out there looking to improve on his times, currently about 2 tenths up. I'm not sure if Katsu had a spin there or something, or if he's just backing off. So 2 tenths up will just jump him 2-3 positions at the moment. How much can he improve for the final 2 sectors? And there's 10th up there in sector 2 on his overall time, so it's not looking like a great lap unless he lost a lot of time in the final sector. We'll see what he can do. As Rugby Danny crosses the line and doesn't improve on that lap, so he's will he push for a second lap? It's Exotic currently out on track on his in lap. Kaotsu's going to be the next one. Perfect Pond has been disqualified from the session. Not entirely sure why. Possibly he's slowing down coming out of the pits to avoid someone. It's very, very unfortunate for him there. So it looks like Nicholas Latifi is going to be the next one in his Mercedes. Can he improve on P3, his 25.661? Got to find about 2/10 to get pole, but we've also got to think that Cool Guy's potentially going to find more time as well. And he does 125.500. That works well for my OCD. Wow, very nicely done. So provisional pole for Nicholas Latifi as Kraken starts his lap. Rugby Daney's going to jump into the pits now. So Cool Guy is just slowing down a lot. He obviously made a mistake or something on his lap. Just getting his tyres into the zone. Whoa, Cool Guy. Cool Guy. Just Jose was flying down there and Cool Guy's just sitting on the line. You know, if you're warming up your tyres, you need to be observing what's behind you. Just because they're all starting their out laps, that could have been very dangerous. We also had the Aston of Satomiki blocking the lane there, all warming up their tyres as well. So Kaitsu invalidated his lap, so he's going to get a time to set another lap. So he crossed the line just in time. Will his tyres make another lap though? So Nicholas Latifi's up on his time. He's going to cross the line with a 125.284, so tops his time by 2.5 tenths. Very impressive. So Caxon's going to be the next one to cross the line in the Ferrari, 26.4 currently. Will he improve? He does by half a second, 25.9 for P5. So, just Jose. He's impressed us already. He's currently sitting provisional pole P3. Can he improve on his time? It looks like he's slightly down on his time at the moment, so I'm not sure he's going to make it. Cool Guys behind him looking to improve as well. And just Jose crossed the line and he's 800ths down. Cool Guy crossed the line, doesn't improve, 25.576, and Satomiki across the line P4, so improves slightly. So Kaitsu's going to be the final one, and he looks like he's well down on his time. And those tyres now having done 2 laps, and doesn't improve unfortunately. So there we go, our top 10 for this first race. Nicholas Latifi puts it on pole with a 125.248. His teammate Cool Guy 3/10 behind him. Just Jose in the McLaren, nice P3 with a 125.592. Satomiki in the Aston Martin, a 125.673. Brocaxon in the Ferrari, a 125.9. Exotic in the second McLaren with a 126.231 in P6. Rugby Daney in the Red Bull with a 126.4. Katsu in the Ferrari in P8. Gabriel in the Williams in P9. And Perfect Pond unfortunately getting disqualified for that pit lane impediment. So it's a Mercedes front row lockouts. You know, it is realistic performance, so it doesn't necessarily surprise me. And here we go. Unfortunately we've got the glitch because it put me in a car, and I didn't get a chance to select spectator at the beginning. And looks like somebody's readied up already. So we've got a formation lap here.
Launch map is good, but we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
So I'm not going to retire from the session until we've finished the formation lap, because I don't want it to cause a glitch in the lobby. Just means I get to do a formation lap, and then I'll retire from this session, unfortunately.
No rain currently expected.
So we've got a few drivers who look to have had incidents on the formation lap, so they'll be sitting on the grid. Could hinder them, could get them with their ice cold tyres sitting there. So let's have a quick rundown of the grids. So, Nicholas Latifi, as we said, in P1, Cool Guy in P2, on those medium tyres. He needs to get ahead of his teammate as quickly as possible. Just Jose, Satomiki, Brakaxon in P5, Exotic, the only other top 10 driver on a medium tyre. Roby Daney, Kaitsu, Gabriel, Perfect Pond rounding out the top 10. Then starting behind him, let's look at tyre choices. Everyone, apart from RAC Bob, has just opted for the hard tyre. Going for the reverse strategy there. Does he know something we don't know about those hard tyres? We shall see. Unfortunately, I'm still in a car, so I'll just get out of everyone's way, and then we will get racing. It looks like there was some damage and an incident as we start the race now. Bit of carnage, bit of carbon fibre there at the front. As Nicholas Latifi gets a good getaway with Cool Guy behind him. Looks like Just Jose may have been caught up in an incident there as his teammate Exotic has got past him. It doesn't look like either driver has damage though, so I'm not sure where the collision started as Perfect Pond gets past Kaitsu. And they are battling it out side by side as we go through down into the twisting S section. And it looks like we've got Exotic is off and Exotic is out. We missed what happened there, unfortunately. We just saw an orange car flying off into the wall, unfortunately. So we've got yellow flags in Sector 2 currently. As RR Silent is bringing up the rear of the grid, so Maxi down in P17, currently at the front of the grid. Satomiki is pushing it to the limit behind Cool Guy, who's now dropped very far back from his teammate on those medium tyres. So Satomiki needs to get past and dispatch Cool Guy as quickly as he can. We're getting quite a big train of cars building up behind them now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in this initial train. Can he do it down this first straight? Obviously DRS, that drag reduction system, is not enabled until the start of the third lap, or the third lap after the safety car, as Maxi gets a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. So we see Satomiki tries to go up the inside of turn 4 to get past Cool Guy, but now puts him on the outside going into the S section side by side. Very tight through here. Who's got the balls to keep it to power down, and it's Satomiki who gets past Cool Guy. Now he needs to make the use of those soft tyres and start pulling away as quickly as he can. Cool Guy sticking with him, but he's got Brakaken on his tail at the moment in the Ferrari. Maybe the medium tyre wasn't the tyre of choice for him. As we can see, Nicholas Latifi out front has already pulled out a 3.5 second gap. Just Jose is also there in the fight behind Brakaken, with Perfect Pond only a 10.5 behind him. Kautsu is in a bit of no man's land at the moment between the two DRS trains that are currently building. Gabriel up there in his Williams, still holding on to P8, with Rugby Daney right behind him in the Red Bull, giving it everything he can to try and get past, as Nicholas Latifi sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:29.243, and Rugby Daney's into the wall and just about keeps it out, but I'm guessing he's picked up some wing damage as he dives into the pits. As Aguilos and Forza Juve are having a fight all the way down to turn 1. The Alpines just got that little bit of extra power. Keep it tight. Will Forza Juve go for the switchback? No, he sticks behind him, but he gets a better exit by the looks of it, coming out as he tries to swerve to avoid it, as RSC Bob gets a 5-second penalty for a severe collision, or Saduk, sorry, gets a 5-second penalty for a serious collision with RSC Bob down there. So winners and losers so far. Robbie Denny just picked up a bit of damage, as we saw. Forza Juve just picked up a time penalty for corner cutting. Other Royale gained 5 positions. Forza Juve's 4 positions. Small Heroes gained 4 positions as well. Cool Guy losing out at the top, now dropping 1.3 seconds behind, as Nicholas Latifi 3.8 seconds out in front is walking away with it in Lewis Hamilton style. Cool Guy now down 1.5 seconds to Satomiki in the Aston Martin. So the rest of the field is fairly well spread out. Stein's now on the tail of Forza Juve, only 8 tenths off of him. El Royale is a lot further behind in his Williams. RSC Bob's got Saduk right behind him in the Haas. He is looking at him and thinking, I'll either take you out or I will take that position, please. As he looks to go up the inside, forces RSC Bob to go wide. Nicely done. What a great little move up the inside of turn 14. And Saduk's diving in the pits as we speak anyway, along with RSC Bob on his hard tyres, so I'm guessing a bit of damage for them. Rugby Danny, as we know, has dropped all the way to the back. Silence having a very lonely race, obviously starting at the back of the grid there. Nicholas Latifi has now pulled out a 4 second gap as well. Cool Guy's dropped 2.3 seconds behind Satomiki, and Just Jose is still on his tail there. So we'll have DRS on this straight. He's just close enough. It's wide open. Is he close enough to make a move? That Mercedes has got unrivaled straight line speeds, but it doesn't quite do it on that one. That is only a short DRS section, but we could see some action here, as Perfect Pond is right behind Just Jose as well. All of these cars will have DRS on the back of Cool Guy. So can they get past? Will we see a lot of action out here at front? And we've got a full course. Is this a full course safety car? Got yellow flags all the way around. Something. The whole track has come up yellow for me. No safety car, unless it's a virtual safety car. We've got nothing on the screen as Brakaken dives into the pits. So not quite sure what's happening there. So it looks like, I'm guessing it's a virtual safety car. DRS is enabled. We did have a virtual safety car. It just didn't tell me what it was, unfortunately. So, didn't make much change in there. Just Jose just dropped slightly further back, but Just Jose, Perfect Pond and Katsu all still within the DRS zone, under 1 second gap behind each other. So Just Jose is already gaining 2 seconds on Cool Guy now. So come across the back straight between turns 10 and 11. DRS wide open, gaining as much as he can. An extra 3 temps there on Cool Guy. Perfect Pond's loitering behind, just an 8 tenths off. Small Hero and Agalos are fighting it out between in their Alpine and the Haas respectively. Small Hero just loses it a bit going through 12 and 13, but still sticking with him. He's got that benefit of the slipstream, which is very advantageous here. Let's see if he can get the DRS and how much of that gap he can close down. Currently 7 tenths behind him, coming out down to turn 1. So not quite enough to hit an overtake there, unfortunately. Stein's having a very quiet race as Just Jose picks up another 3-second time penalty. And Cool Guy, looks like someone else was off there. Cool Guy is off and into the wall, currently facing the wrong direction. Very careful there, trying to come back on the lap. Nearly took out a couple of guys coming past him. So not sure what happened there, whether that was any contact. Unfortunately we can't, different camera views, so it doesn't look like there's any damage to Just Jose or to Cool Guy. Looks like he kept it out of the wall as well, but it drops him back quite far. What it does do though is releases now Just Jose, who's got Perfect Pond a half a second behind him, right on his tail. And further down the grid, Sarduk on the tail of El Royale in the other Williams and the Haas. As Maxi picks up a 3-second time penalty. So I believe he's now got quite a few penalties. Yeah, so Maxi's now on 8 seconds, Forza Juve is on 3 seconds, and Just Jose is on 3 seconds as well. So currently bottom 8 have all made at least one pit stop. Robbie Denny came out on the hard tyre, so he's looking to go long, so he'll be up there as well. This Cool Guy dives into the pits, so it's quite likely he had some damage as he changes those medium tyres after only 7 laps. So we should look very shortly in the next lap or two for the top 6 drivers all on soft tyres to start coming in. Nicholas Latifi is still running, lovely clear out at the front. Satomiki sitting 4.3 seconds behind him. Just Jose and Perfect Pond having a nice little battle there. Now if they're sensible, they'll just work with each other here, drag each other along, just to try and not lose too much time. If they start fighting too much, they'll lose time to the top 2, and they'll also start falling into Katsu's hands as well. As we see here, Agilis and Gabriel are having a bit of battle. Small Hero seems to have dropped back a bit, and we've got yellow flags. Saduk's now DNF'd out down in turn 4. Not quite sure what happened there, whether that was retirement by choice. So it was obviously an accident. We have a full course safety car. So everyone now has to back off. Will we see a lot of action in the pits? Satomiki stayed out. He chose to stay out. This could be a mistake, as everyone behind him is now pitted. As Nicholas Latifi comes out on the soft tyres, Just Jose, Perfect Pond, Kautsu all come out on the medium tyres. Brakaxon has stayed out on his medium tyres. He's only got 2 laps old though. Gabriel has pitted for hard tyres. Agelos and Small Hero both gone on 2 soft tyres, and Stein's coming out on a set of medium tyres. So it's worked well there for those guys, as Rugby Denny's just come in past. And Steins drops down a little bit there. Forza Juve just picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So, top of the grid, Satomiki stayed out. This could be a risky move unless his tyre wear is absolutely amazing. You know, Nicholas Latifi had pulled out a 4-second gap already on him. So on a restart, will he be able to hold him off? So as we just wait for all of the cars to bunch up behind the safety car before we go racing again. And I'll be right back as we let all of that happen. So hopefully the safety car will be back in this lap. As we come round, we'll see if the lights go out as we enter sector 3. And we are on the ball. So Nicholas Latifi now becomes the safety car as he backs the grid up, warms his tyres up, starts giving the safety car a bit of space to run off, and then times his start perfectly. Doesn't want to give too much of a gap to... No, why is Satomiki pushed forward? Now Satomiki should be the safety car. I'm not quite sure why Satomiki is now sitting in P2. It's the Red Bull of Perfect Pond has just gone. It looks like he overtook under the safety car there before the yellow flag went. Nicholas Latifi out in the lead as Satomiki is under pressure from Just Jose on those fresh medium tyres. Looks like he's struggling now, and he looks like he's in the wall. He is. Satomiki. Hopefully he kept it out and not too much damage there as Forza Juve is pitted for fresh front wing. Looks like a bit of damage on the safety car, but that puts Just Jose up into P2, already 1.2 seconds behind Nicholas Latifi, but with Perfect Pond close on his tail, only 4 attempts up. Obviously DRS won't be enabled at the moment, so it's just going to be like for like who's going to use up all of their ERS, sorry, the energy recovery system to keep him behind, as Rakakan sitting behind his teammate, 7 temps. Angelos in that Alpine sitting down in P6. Small Hero doing very well in that Haas after that safety car period, up in P7. Looks like Cool Guy's just got past Steinzap, both of them running on medium tyres there, but Cool Guy's got a bit of a train forming behind him. Can Stein get past on the straight? So currently 3 drivers on the hard tyres and a mixture of mediums and softs across the grid. As Cool Guy got an impressive exit out of there, but now Rugby Daney's putting on the pressure on Steinzap behind him as he goes round the outside of turn 1. Can he make it stick? And he's on the inside of turn 2, forces the Steins wide through 3, 4 up to the straight. Does this put R silent? It's 3 abreast. As we honed up into turn 4, and R silent just lets it go a bit, gives them the space as Stein is pushing hard to put the pressure on Rugby Danny. Let's see what's happening towards the front of the grid as Nicholas Latifi is already on Perfect Pond, but Perfect Pond's now got past Just Jose and it's starting to drop him a bit, an 8/10 gap. Katsu's not far behind, sitting in P4. Both Ferraris running 2 abreast, 2 astern, sorry, as we come through the end of sector 2, and he's got Angelos behind him as well, putting pressure on him as you come through turn 12 and 13 down this back straight. Can he stay in that slipstream and stick as close as he can to him for the long start finish straight? He does. He gets a bit squirrely on the exit, struggling with the traction, and he loses that gap as El Dorado picks up a 3-second time penalty. As Just Jose is right on the tail of Perfect Pond, 5 temps behind him. Really doing well in that McLaren, just keeping it up there, possibly on for a podium if he can keep this pace up. And let's look, Forza Juve's right out and back in the AlphaTauri after having to pit for a new wing. And let's have a little look how many stops these guys have all done. Yeah, so Edel Royale and Forza Juve in P16 and 17 both now have done 3 stops. RAC Bob's also done 3 stops and sitting comfortably up in P12. The top 10 all done 1 stop at the moment, and those behind have obviously suffered wing damage at some point and then potentially pitted under the safety car as well. So Small Hero in the Haas is 6 temps behind Cool Guy. Cool Guy 6 temps behind Agilos in the Alpine. 4 temps behind Bracken. So this could be interesting when the DRS activates at the end of this lap. Let's have a look at the back of this train. Small Heroes now dropped to over a second behind. A cool guy there. Rugby Danny's 2.5 seconds off of him. And Stein's sitting there with Silent right on his backside, sniffing for that pass, as the two teammates will hopefully be thinking, let's work together, let's catch up to this pack, let's not fight, let's not put damage, put ourselves at risk. It's just Jose, still 7 attempts off of Perfect Pond. Nicholas Latifi now 3.5 seconds out in front. We've got a lovely little train of cars here in the middle. That's a beautiful camera angle there. All of them with their DRS wide open as Cool Guy goes up the inside of turn 11. Very nicely done, very, very dangerously done, but very nicely done at the same time. He saw the gap, he took it. You know, if you stop going for space, stop going for a gap, you're no longer a racing driver. So out in front, just Jose. Still in that DRS zone of Perfect Pond. Right. He's going to make a move into turn 1 as he goes down around the outside of turn 1. Can he stick it and be on the inside of turn 2? He's dropped just slightly behind, but he will get the DRS up through the second section. It doesn't open it. I don't know whether that's just a glitch on the screen or if that's actually happening. As Kautsu and Golios. Oh, Kautsu spins! We're having a lovely little battle there, and he reverses back across the track. Oh! And he's dropped down to P9 as he's got Stein coming up very quickly behind him as well, and Silent. So they'll be looking to attack now as Kautsu's tyres will be on fire. Oh, Kautsu. What happened there, buddy? Spun on the exit of the corner there, caught Stein up in it as he's had to slow right down. But Stein's back on it, getting past RSC Bob as quickly as he can, but it has released Silent to go and try and reduce that gap to Rugby Danny. As we've still got this train of cars. So Aguilos in the Alpine, Cool Guy just behind him in Bracken, and I'd imagine we're about to see an overtake from Cool Guy. Beautiful camera angles there, Cody's. Yeah, the move is done well before turn 1, and loves Brakaxen to catch up a little bit as well. But it does give Aguilos the DRS, but it's not enough time to make a move down there. Stein's starting now to close up the gap on his teammate, and I'm not sure if RSC Bob has dived in the pits as well. Did he have another front wing, or was it just a set of tyres? Kautsu obviously needed a change of tyres. And Satomiki, who was our race leader at one point under the safety car, sat in P2 all the time up until then. It's dropped down to P13. Steins and his teammates Silent are pushing. He's got Steins will have the slipstream there. So RSC Bob's now made 4 pit stops as Nicholas Latifi comes into the pits. And just Jose flies past him, so Nicholas Latifi's going to change now. Let's see what. Let's put tyres on. So Nicholas Latifi's gone on to the medium tyres. And just Jose's. He obviously went to the medium tyres after the pit stop during the safety car. Sorry. So Just Jose is now leading the race with Perfect Pond half a second behind him. Small Hero dives into the pits as well, and he's now come out in P13 by the looks of it, as RSC Bob has DNF'd. And there he is, we can just see him in the distance there, sitting in the wall with no front wing attached to his car. So we lose another driver, so we're down to 15. And we've got a full course safety car, so this will allow the field to bunch up. Now it could benefit those drivers out front. They could potentially pit to the hard tyre and have the luxury of the slower lap times, so you lose less time while in the pits. You could make it to the end now on a set of hard tyres, or even another set of medium if they've got a fresh set. And as Nicholas Latifi, who was leading the race before the pit stop and before the safety car, if those behind him decide they're going to pit. So Just Jose dives into the pits, Perfect Pond dives into the pits. Will Cool Guy follow for a fresh set of tyres? He does, as does everyone behind him, as Jealous dives in the pits as well. Rugby Denny diving into the pits as well, and Silence coming around the last corner, and that's be interesting between Stein and Silent, who's going to make the pit stop. And Stein's going to have to stay out. It would impede his race very badly if he went into the pits as well. So Just Jose is coming out of the pits, and he stays out in front. Perfect Pond in P2, and Stein's now up to P3 with Nicholas Latifi on fresh tyres right behind him. Satomiki picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And RR Silence coming out to P11. Gabriel coming out behind him. Satomiki, Kaitsu just coming past them. And Forza Juve, unfortunately, may not catch up to the pack before this safety car decides it's going to come in. So, as the cars start to bunch up, we start to think about the final stretch of this race. We're currently 11 laps to go. We've got roughly 11 laps, so probably another 2, maybe 3 under the safety car. So Just Jose is in a perfect position here on those fresh tyres. He was managing to keep Perfect Pond behind him. And Steins, whose tyres are 9 laps old, so they're not in perfect form, but as long as he can preserve them during this safety car period, hopefully they'll make it to the end, and he could be in a very good position there. He has got the Mercedes of Nicholas Latifi behind him on fresh tyres. Maxi on the hard tyres are also 9 laps old, stuck in that Mercedes sandwich at the moment. Will be difficult to hold off Cool Guy behind and keep with Nicholas Latifi. The hard tyre, as we all know, is a lot slower, especially around here in Bahrain. But he's done the right thing because he needed to go to the end, and it's put him in a good point scoring position currently. And interestingly, so we're going to look at Caxon and Agelos on the soft tyres. As Cool Guy look like he's... Oh, Cool Guy has dived into the pits again. Has he picked up more damage? No damage, but he's changing onto those soft tyres. So he's going to look at a massive push now to try and get from essentially what is the back of the pack to the front. Now he will have the tyre advantage, but will he have the time available to be able to make them count? As Katsu's, I see he's apologised in the Discord there for spinning and coming back on the track. I think it's just one of them things, you know, when you start spinning, unfortunately you do lose a lot of control over the car. And I appreciate it wasn't on purpose. You know, I'm sure the guys behind will understand when they watch it and they can see your car just flying around Like you're a red Superman spinning across the track there. So we're coming around to the end of Sector 2. We're right on board with Just Jose. Let's have a look. Safety car hopefully will come in this lap as it crosses that sector timing line, and see if the lights go out. And there we go. Safety car is in this lap. So Just Jose will now take control of the pack as he keeps his tyres in the zone, maintains his speed. He's got to allow that safety car time to be able to cross the first safety car line before he can pass it. So he doesn't want to go too early, or he'll risk the speed limiter coming on. But that's also, he doesn't want to go too quickly because he'll give everyone behind him the benefit of the slipstream down the straight. He can officially go all the way to the line. And there we go racing again. So Perfect Pond is right on his tail with Steins right behind him up into turn 1. As they're all making benefit of that slipstream, Nicholas Latifi goes up the inside of turn 1, trying to get past Stein, as Just Jose picks up a 5-second time penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. And that's it, Nicholas Latifi has just edged past Stein coming down the second straight on the track, and he's got Rakakan right behind him as well. Small Hero, looks like something happens to Maxi there. He's falling down the pack as RF Silent comes flying past him, and Cool Guy is now, as we watch, Cool Guy is now I was going to say making his way up the field. What I mean is making his way up the curb and into the wall, unfortunately. Possibly going to be another pit stop for him there. So Just Jose is still leading the pack after the restart, pulled out 6/10 from Perfect Pond, but Nicholas Latifi is only half a second behind him, looking to regain his P1 position. Steinzap's dropped 1.3 seconds behind, and he's got Rakakan right on his tail as well. Small Hero now sitting in P6 with RR Silent half a second behind him, but making the most of that slipstream, and starting the train then behind him, Agelos and Rugby Danie's a further 9/10 currently behind him, and Satomiki, who was doing so well in the Aston Martin, a second behind Rugby Danie. So as we start lap 21 of 29, Perfect Pond's now half a second behind Just Jose, and Nicholas Latifi is not far behind him, but they're both, all three are pulling out a gap to Brakaxon in the Ferrari. As Agelos gets past Silent, Silence now coming up with Rugby Danie, is trying to get past him down into turn 4. Up the inside, forces Silent to go wide and have to lift off by the looks of it to give him the space. Nicely done by Rugby Danie. And we've got yellow flag in sector 2. Not sure who's facing the wrong way. Brakaxon! No, my friend. Oh, you were doing so well. You're doing so well in the Ferrari. It's not often you see a Ferrari that high up. And now we're looking at two Ferraris in P14 and P15. As Cool Guy is storming his way through the field on those fresh soft tyres. Storming is not a word. Storming his way through the field. I've been awake for far too many hours today. So Stein's now sitting 3.8 seconds off of a podium position, holding off Small Hero, who's a further 1.3 seconds behind him, who's going to be under attack from the Alpine of Agelos. And we've got a yellow flag in sector 3 as Brakakan's come together with Forza Juve. So Forza Juve has got no front wing, and we've got another safety car now. So it looks like the front runners will now have to do a full lap before they pick up the safety car, as Kaotsu picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. So we're now down to 14 drivers as both AlphaTauris are in the pits, but Forza Juve was having his front wing changed, and that's going to impede sorry, Maxi was serving a penalty, so that's impeded Forza Juve there. We've got as Kaotsu comes into the pits for his front wing change as well. So just Jose leading the race under the safety car, still yet to pick up the safety car. It's currently sitting just past turn 3 waiting for them to all come round. I'm wondering if any of these top runners will come in to fit a set of soft tyres for this final stint. We won't have many laps left under the safety car. We can predict that once we pick the safety car up, we'll have about a further 3 laps at least underneath the safety car. So, will anyone dive into the pits now? And no, just Jose dummies it, but Perfect Pond dummies it as well. Nicholas Latifi's there. Stein's going to dive into the pits to get some fresh rubber. Small Hero flies past. Silence coming in behind his teammate. So I'm not sure if he needs a front wing or anything, but he's going to get held up slightly here, and that's going to lose him positions. No front wing, just a fresh set of soft tyres for Silent. So, just Jose still leading the race. Perfect Pond in P2. Nicholas Latifi, top 3 runners didn't pit. And then Small Hero on those hard tyres, still holding strong in the Haas, up in P4. Agelos behind him though on a 4-lap old set of soft tyres, so they'll be getting to the same kind of level of grip at this point. And Roby Danini on those medium tyres, Satomiki P7, and Steins came out in P8, so he just needs to catch up to the pack now. As Katsu looks like he's pitted again. Not quite sure how many kit stops has Katsu done now. He's running out of tyres, definitely, because he's got a set of hard tyres on now. Yep, 5 stops for Katsu. He didn't pick up any damage though, so he didn't change for a fresh set of tyres. So as we'll go for a few more laps underneath the safety car, and we'll be right back. Here we go. It's the final sprint of this race to the finish line. So Just Jose has led us away nicely with Perfect Pond half a second and Nicholas Latifi half a second behind him. And we've already got a yellow flag in sector 1. Small Hero is not far behind, but bringing up the rear with the train, and we see Cool Guy trying to sneak up the inside there on the Aston Martin of Satomiki. As we go down to the tight hairpin of turn 9, again up the inside. Very bold late dive bomb there, as Angelos is now stuck right behind him, and it looks like we've got an Alpine into the, or an Alfa Romeo into the wall there. Yeah, Alfa Tauri, sorry, of Forza Juve into the wall. So Cool Guy is now up into P4 with a Small Hero behind him. And Gilos not far behind him, and we've got a very long train of cars there. As Small Hero now loses out to the Alpine of Gilos up into turn 1, but he brakes late and he cuts the corner, bounces across, forcing Gilos wide, which allows Satomiki to sneak through there all the way up to turn 4. And he's going to hold him off into turn 4 and push him. That's it, and he's passed. So Small Hero now drops down to P6. Silence right behind him though as we go through the S section. And around the corner of turn 8, and Silence stays behind Small Hero there, but will he get him on this straight? And we've got a yellow flag in sector 2, as it looks like whose that was off. I'm not sure who that was that had come off there, as Silence trying to brave it past around the outside of turn 11 into 12 and 13, and they collide, and they've collided, and Small Hero and Silent are dropping right down. Loads of damage there. So Robbie Danning's now eyeing up in front of him. He's got Maxi Steins and Gabriel, as DRS is now enabled. So out front now, Nicholas Latifi is 1.3 seconds behind Just Jose with 3 laps to go in this race. Can he bring that time right down? He's got Perfect Pond only 3 tenths behind him though. With that DRS now, it's going to be putting him under pressure. The first bit of pressure that Latifi's probably been under, as he's not leading the race, so that could enable Just Jose to be able to maintain the gap while they're fighting behind him, as Cool Guy now is closing in on that last podium position. Starting in this section only 1 second behind Perfect Pond. Satomiki is 2.8 seconds further behind, as Maxi picks up a 3-second time penalty for speed corner cutting. So Steins up now, sitting up in P7. He's got Maxi for company behind him, closing that gap to half a second with the DRS wide open. And then Gabriel's not far behind in his Williams, really doing strong to keep Rugby Daney behind him at the moment in the Red Bull, as Perfect Pond's picked up a 3-second time penalty. Let's have a look at the time penalties quickly to see how that's going to work out at the top. So Perfect Pond's got 3 seconds, Cool Guy's got 3 seconds. Just Jose's got 8 seconds worth of penalties, so he will not finish this race on the pole. At the moment he will actually drop back to P5, potentially. No, P5, well, yeah, P5 or P4 possibly, because depending on if anyone else picks up any penalties behind them, as Silence dived into the pits now, obviously after he picked up some damage there. As again, Kautsu's having his lonely little race, along with Small Hero having a little peaceful Friday evening drive as well. So Gabriel is now behind Robbie Daney. It didn't take Robbie Daney too long to get past him in the Red Bull, and Robbie Daney's got his eye on Steinzap. He's only 3 tenths behind him. And Maxi is just in front, so Stein's getting the benefit of the DRS at the moment. Just look out front, so Nicholas Latifi has caught right up to Just Jose. Just Jose is trying to break that DRS at the slipstream at the moment, as we head into the final corner to start the final lap of the race. So, Cool Guy sitting in P4 is right on the tail of Perfect Pond, who's got DRS from Nicholas Latifi as well. Nicholas Latifi's going for a move up into turn 1, as Cool Guy sends it up the inside and then gets the outside line through turn 3. Both cars have got DRS going into turn 4. Perfect Pond's defending nicely. Cool Guy just sends it up the inside of turn 4, so puts himself currently onto the podium. Just Jose's dropped half a second behind, but he also has those 8 seconds of penalties. Satomiki a bit too far back at the moment, 3.2 seconds off Perfect Pond with a 5-second penalty. Agelos will benefit from an extra position there though, as long as he stays penalty free. And Steins, who's 2 seconds behind Agelos, sitting in P7 with penalty free as well. Maxi sitting down in P8 in the AlphaTauri is right on the behind of Stein, 7 tenths behind him. So let's see if there'll be any change for the lead. Highly doubted, but Nicholas Latifi is going to come around the corner and take the checkered flag for this inaugural race. RFL Season 1, Round 1 race winner. Congratulations, sir. Cool Guy comes home in P2, Perfect Pond in P3. Just Jose crosses the line, finishes P4 after penalties. Satomiki crossed the line, P5. Agelos finishes P6. Stein comes across the line in P7. Gabriel crossed the line, finishes P8, and Maxi drops to P9 with those penalties. Small Hero and Rugby Denny coming across the line, and finishes P10, the last of the points paying positions for Small Hero. Robbie Denny across the line, P11. Katsu, P12. Forza Juve going to come across the line in P13. And R Silent retires at the last second there to finish P13, I believe. So there we go, our podium sitters. Both Mercedes made it up onto the podium. Nicholas Latifi led a lot of the race with a very strong gap out in front at the beginning. The Canadian and his teammate there, who made his way back up the grids as well. So there we go, the final standings. Nicholas Latifi in the Mercedes started P1, finished P1. Cool Guy in P2 with the fastest lap of the race as well, so benefits from that bonus point. Perfect Pond finished the podium positions in the Red Bull, jumped up from P10 to P3. Just Jose lost out because of those penalties, unfortunately. Finishes P4. Satomiki in P5 in the Aston Martin. Agelos in the Alpine, P6. Stein in Alpha in P7. Gabriel in the Williams. Great points for the Williams there in P8. Maxi in the AlphaTauri in P9. Small Hero rounded out the points in the Haas. Rugby Denny in the Red Bull in P11, Katsu in the Ferrari P12, Forza Juve in P13, and R Silent, the final finisher in P14. He did retire right at the very end though, but completed more than 90% of the race. Well, there we go. We hope you've enjoyed the race, the inaugural race, as I said, for RFL. You can catch us here every Friday night for qualifying, starting at approximately 7:30, 7:45 UK time. streamed live on the CCR network here on YouTube. If you haven't watched us before, give us a like, give us a subscribe. 4 leagues now stream live on here. CCR network on a Friday night, NRL on a Saturday evening, PAFR on a Sunday morning here in the UK, it's a Sunday evening in Australia, and then SFR streams on Sunday evening, kicking off at 7:15. Well, that's it for now. We look forward to seeing you next week. We are back out in Bahrain. Will we have the same sort of catastrophes, or will we have some new finishers, new podium sitters, new pole positions? We will see. Good night from me.